Hi there, welcome to Nebby Invests. This time last week, almost to the minute, I was doing a video on 5 companies who I was following quite closely because it was looking like the sentiment in these 5 ASX companies, it was looking like it was turning around from negative to positive. So I just wanted to revisit whether this shift in sentiment of these 5 companies has been confirmed or potentially has failed. This is only 5 days later. However, the overall market in the last 5 trading days has been quite volatile. In fact, the day I did this video on the 21st of June, the market fell 1.8%. Then the next day, the market rose 1.4%. Overall, during the week, the market fell something like 1% or so. And if the performance of these 5 companies in terms of the share price movement, not the business performance, but the share price performance, is positive when the overall market is down, that would be a good sign, a bullish sign, that the potential shift in sentiment is real for these 5 companies. So before we talk about this potential shift, we'll revisit this potential sentiment shift in these 5 companies, I just want to talk about the overall market in the past week. Here is the XJO over the past 5 trading days, and each candlestick is 15 minutes long. On the first day, the 21st of June, we did see, when the market opened, as anticipated, we did see a bit of a sell-off. We didn't see any sort of rally during the day. Sometimes you will see a rally, which is a good sign, or you will see the share prices or the market fall throughout the day. However, overnight markets or the international markets on the 21st of June were up, so we went up quite big on open the next day. In fact, I think we were up something like 1.4%, and we maintained that through the rest of that day. Into Wednesday and Thursday, we did see the overall market in Australia go down a little bit, nothing too exciting. And then on the open on the last day of trading on Friday, we did see a bit of a rally. And then during the rest of the trading on Friday, it just went sideways. Overall, during the week, the XGO was down 0.83%. And a nice sort of, we'll say, consolidation during the week from that opening on the Tuesday. We didn't see much change from that open to the end of trading on the Friday. I do think right now there's a lot of indecision in the markets, as we can see on the Monday and the Tuesday. When you see the market down 1.8% one day and up 1.4% the next day, neither the bulls nor the bears are in control. There's a lot of people out there who do believe the markets are overvalued right now. I'm in that camp. However, the governments around the world are doing everything they can. I should probably also say the central banks are doing everything they can to maintain elevated asset prices, because if we have elevated asset prices, those people who have assets feel a bit more wealthy and are more likely to spend. And the governments around the world want people to be spending right now. That's their dream, and to stimulate the economy and get things moving along at a good clip. They don't believe inflation will be a result of that increased spending. They do believe any inflation right now will be transitory. So all the governments, all the central banks right now are doing everything in their power to maintain these elevated levels in the stock markets. And that's why I do believe in at least the short term, possibly even the medium term, we will see the markets go up even from here. As a reminder, the 5 companies I have been following closely, and the 5 companies who are possibly seeing a bit of a shift in this sentiment, are A2 Milk, Kogan, Zip, Appen, and Bigtincan. I have already mentioned in that previous video that I already have a holding of A2 Milk, Kogan, and Zip in my long-term portfolio. So I have no intentions of selling those 3 companies in at least the short to medium term. Appen and Bigtincan I've held in the past. I am much more likely to trade those 2 companies, particularly Bigtincan, because they're not profitable as of now. So let's have a look at the first company, which is Bigtincan. What I've done for each 3 company is just provided the trading over the last 5 days on each day, and just the overall movement price-wise and percentage-wise. Bigtincan had rallied quite hard through a support level leading up until last week. So 2 weeks ago, we did see the share price rise quite considerably on some good news. And what I was looking for here with Bigtincan was a bit of consolidation. I didn't want to see major sell-off in the share price. I did not want to see the share price move towards $1. That would be quite bearish. What I wanted to see is the share price move sideways. And that's exactly what we had with Bigtincan last week. Share price only fell 0.5 cents, so not 1 cent. So it fell from $1.15 to $1.14.5. Actually, it's not 0.5, but $1.14.5. So that's only 0.4%. So I'd say it's around about level for the week, or it has consolidated through the week. So this was a good sign for Bigtincan and its shareholders. There was a bit of volatility during the week. We did see the share price go down 2% on the Monday, 4% on the Wednesday, and 1% on the Thursday. But the other 2 days, it went up 4% and 3%. We did see a little bit of a decrease in volume during the week. So the highest volume was the first 2 trading days. That is telling me that there is a lot of sellers right now who are willing to sell out at these increased share prices that we have seen over the past few months. So this is a good sign that this potential breakout we did see the previous week could be confirmed right now. And this is a definite shift in sentiment candidate. And I have put Bigtincan much closer to a potential buy right now. I made 2 purchases during the week, and the first purchase I made was late on the Monday. I think it was actually in the closing auction, and that was Appen. When the overall market was down 1.8%, Appen actually rose 0.4%. In my opinion, that's a fairly good sign that the sentiment is starting to shift in this company. We have seen the share price fall from something like $47 to a low of $11 in the middle of May. And that low in the middle of May just preceded a positive trading update on the 19th of May where we saw the share price rose 17%. That was the first good bit of news this company has seen for quite a while. And the share price has continued to rally from there on in. We have seen a crossover in the 10 and 20-day moving average. That is the first sign, and we are starting to see that share price continue to rise. In fact, right now, the share price has gone above the 50-day exponential moving average. We saw the share price rally on that big down day, but the next day, when the overall market was up 1.4%, Appen actually fell 1.8%. And I immediately thought at the end of that trading day, well, I did make a mistake here because the previous day was a positive sign that the sentiment is shifting. But when you see the share price fall when the overall market is up, that's actually the complete opposite. However, the next 2 trading days, we did see the share price rise 3% and 2.5%. And then the final trading day, it was virtually flat for the day, only down 1 cent. Overall, during the week, Appen was up 60 cents and gained 4.3%. And the chart is looking even better right now after the past trading weeks. So right now, I'm fully in Appen with, or I've put it into my momentum and sentiment portfolio, and it does look quite positive now as the share price has gone above the previous high just after that 19th of May trading update. That's another good sign that we have seen a higher high. The second purchase I made during the week was Kogan. I decided to buy into Kogan on the Tuesday when we did see the share price actually fall back a little bit. In fact, on that really big negative day, Kogan went up 0.4% just like Appen, and that was a positive sign. The next day, it was actually down 0.54%. I thought that was a good time to buy. Even though there was a bit of weakness when the overall market was up, I was a little bit more positive about this shift in sentiment in Kogan. This was probably one of the most positive signs I've seen out of the 5 companies I've been following. Kogan can do this. We can see some shifts. It rarely goes through these shifts in sentiment. And usually these shifts in sentiment occur every 6 months to 1 year. In fact, when you look at the chart here, the most previous shift in sentiment was in January of this year. So this negative sentiment with Kogan has only lasted about 5 months or so. And we've seen a bit of a rally in the share price on the last 2 trading days. In fact, just after I bought the company, the share price actually did fall. And then on the Wednesday, it fell another 1%. And I just thought at that point, I maybe was a little bit premature buying into Kogan. However, the last 2 trading days, Share price of Kogan went up 6% on the Thursday and another 6% on the Friday. And we just look at the chart here, that does look like there's a bit of a breakout in the share price. 2 really good trading days. We've seen, again, just like Appen, a crossover in the 10 and 20-day exponential moving average, and the share price has gone above the 50-day moving average. I would prefer the 2 other shorter-term moving averages, the 10 and 20-day, to be above the 50-day. However, this looks quite positive. Looks like this is a definite shift in sentiment with Kogan. I'm fairly certain this is. I'd say it's a 90 to 95% surety in myself that this is a shift in sentiment. Kogan share price went up $1.22 for the week, or 11% rise. So very positive share price action with Kogan, and I'm very confident in the short-term movement in the share price of this company. From the company I'm most confident about a shift in sentiment, Kogan, to the company I'm least confident about, Zip. I do own both Kogan and Zip in my long-term portfolio. I do think there is potential that over the long term this company will grow. One thing that I am nervous about is this is a very popular company among retail investors. I prefer to own companies that are not quite as popular as Zip. If you go to Hot Copper Forum, this is one of the most discussed companies on the ASX. If you forget who it is, but they say this is one of the most traded companies on the NAB platform. Forget exactly what podcast I found that information from, but a very popular company among retail investors, and that does make me a little bit nervous. Share price of Zip can be quite volatile. We saw that in January this year. On a trading update, the share price went up 23% and then doubled from there in just over a month to a high of $14. In fact, the share price has been under pressure since that high. In fact, the share price low of $6.50 in the middle of May. There's been a potential shift in sentiment in the past few weeks. We have seen the share price move above the moving averages. I would prefer with Zip to see that potential shift in sentiment coincide with a positive trading update. More than likely, we'll see that positive trading update in the middle of July. We saw the last one in the middle of April. They do one every 3 months. Maybe the market is anticipating another positive trading update. We saw the same thing happening towards the end of March into the beginning of April, where we saw the share price rally before the release of the trading update. That's potentially what we're seeing here. That potential breakout in the share price on the trading update in April, even though the share price went up 17%, failed in the medium or the short term. We saw the share price then plunge after that. So there is that little bit of concern that the share price is now rallying in anticipation of the next trading update, which should be released in 2 weeks. For the week, in saying all that, for the week, share price for Zip was up 9 cents or 1.1%. We did see some really good share price action on the Monday and the Wednesday. So just like Appen and Kogan, the share price for Zip was up 0.9% on the day the overall market was down, and then went down when the overall market was up. So sort of a reverse goings on with these 3 companies. And then on the Wednesday, share price went up 6% for Zip, but we saw the share price pull back on the last 2 trading days. If you compare this to Afterpay, which is, they're seeing their share price rally quite hard. It's up something like 50%, I believe. I think it's got down to like $80. Now it's up about $125 or so. So a lot more positive sentiment in Afterpay, which confuses me because there's a lot more value in Zip right now. Afterpay is fully priced. Even if they grow exponentially from here, you could still say Afterpay is overvalued. You could not say that with Zip. Just going to leave this on to watch list, Zip on the watch list, just to see what this next trading update reveals. The last 2 trading updates, we did see the share price rally quite hard on the day. One succeeded. It was a breakout. That was the January trading update. The April trading update completely failed. What the July trading update brings, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. And finally, on to A2 Milk. This company share price has been in a downtrend for about 10 months. The catalyst for the downtrend, the first catalyst really was in August of last year when they released their full year results, and the share price has been falling ever since. The first signs of a shift in sentiment wasn't really anything that happened with the share price or any technical signs. It was the fact that there were a few fund managers that actually openly discussed how there could be good value with A2 Milk. I think it was on the call. This company was recommended as a buy. So I think last time I heard, A2 Milk is still on the buy list in the call. And so I do think there are some bottom pickers, value investors who are seeing some value in A2 Milk with the significant decrease in share price. The last trading update on the May 10 could have flushed out the last of those shareholders who were getting upset with this share price decreasing a fair bit. Right now, I'm not willing to sell out because I do believe with 4 successive downgrades and a change in CEO, everything's setting up just perfectly right for a turnaround play in A2 Milk. And we have seen a share price get into a very short-term uptrend since the lows that were reached in the middle of May at around $5 or just above $5. Share price has got to $6.34 on the last trading day of last week. We have seen a bit of a higher high, higher low setup at play during the past month. During last week, when the overall market was down big on the Monday, A2 Milk followed, down 3.99%. The next day, when the overall market rallied, share price of A2 Milk was up 0.7. We did see a fair bit of positive sentiment come into the market for A2 Milk during the last 3 trading days. In fact, on the Friday, the share price of A2 Milk went up 4%, and that really saved the week for A2 Milk because overall, instead of being down for the week, it was up 8 cents or 1.3%. It does look like this shift in sentiment for A2 Milk is still at play, and it does look like the share price moving above the previous high on the last trading day. We might start seeing the share price continue to go higher. If we see the share price continuing in this short-term uptrend, this could be a good time to buy into this company before the first good news is released from management. So what the market is anticipating now is some good news from A2 Milk. That is all I have for this revisit video of ASX stocks where we're seeing the sentiment shift potentially. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything I've said in this video or any of the companies I've mentioned, leave it in the comment section or answer anything you have to say, ask as soon as possible. Last thing I should mention is I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's all for this video. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.